Call us up, everybody. We're taking calls right now. We need a good caller.
Good one.
Okay, this one's on now.
We need to end the
Camille.
MLK stream
I
well.
always like calls that are
Camille.
He's hiding from Eric under his fucking blanket.
Hey there.
Camille!
Oh, boy.
We're doing it. Oh my god.
All right. What do you have to apologize for? We're going to end on a crazy call.
Okay. I don't know if this is a crazy call, but I was actually. It's a question.
No
Is it okay?
I don't know. All right, we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. I was actually wondering, what were some major differences between writing the cosplayer script and writing a smaller skit?
Oh, boy.
That's actually a good question.
That's actually a really good question.
Okay, I'm so glad.
I mean, it's not like a crazy moment, but it's a good question.
Oh, sorry.
We said no bits,
Yeah.
so.
Sorry.
Real name,
No,
right?
no one's apologizing in this call, so I don't know how much I like it.
Yeah.
Between
She said she's
writing
sorry.
what
More
skit?
time.
What was the first skit?
The
Cosplayers.
We mentioned that we wrote a cosplayer script, though we haven't really given any info on what it is. But I think the question would be a full-length script versus a video.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, they're incredibly different. They're incredibly...
Yeah, we learned that.
It's just two different beasts. I don't know how interesting it would be to go into it. We learned a lot about writing.
Yeah.
No, go into it. I think this is genuinely like a good topic.
Yeah. It's hard because, like...
You can't give away stuff from...
Well,
You know what? Here's what I learned. Everybody wants to make it sound like it's really easy to write a script, and they all have some simple formula that you should follow, and it's all
Read a book or
fucking
something.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Any advice that anybody gave, I've realized they were all talking out of their asses because none of them had ever written a script. And so there were so many people. Eric actually gave good advice, but he's worked in the film industry reading a lot of scripts. But I won't name any names. We had a friend come up, and we had been working on it for like years. We've been working on it for years, and he just said, well, I read Steve Martin said if he works on a script for more than a year and a half, he gives up. And the person just kind of dismissed the work we had been doing for like 3 years at that point. And I just thought, well, you're not Steve Martin, so I don't know why you could just sling that information out. Like, you're saying that like you have personal experience with that. Also, Steve Martin doesn't write good movies. My own opinion. And I don't know, it was just really dismissive from a person who had never tried to do what we were doing. And then another person said, like,
that got to you.
yeah, and another person was like, oh, you know, like you write really good 3-minute skits, and I have a friend who wrote a movie, and they just said you should just write every 3 pages like it's its own 3-minute script. And I was like,
That's a fever dream.
that's a fever dream, and that doesn't describe any good movie that's ever been made ever. I'm a fan of real movies, not a 3-minute skit followed by a 3-minute skit that happens 90 times over.
You know what? They do make movies like that.
Yeah, and they're
scary movie.
Yeah, they're awful.
They're fucking terrible. They're for 12-year-olds.
Like one-off things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, it was like there was no advice. There was no quick fix.
Meet the Spartans.
There was no formula. It was, yo, you're going to need to like discover some things about how you create stuff, and you're going to need to find stuff that works for you. And at the end of the day, I felt personally that the thing we had gained most was knowledge on how to make a script good. Knowledge, not that we had the ability to make a script good, but we had knowledge on how to approach that goal. And
the right way to do it. Yeah,
basically we were more experienced than people who had never written a script, so we were more experienced than all those people who were giving us advice.
I was gonna say, I think with writing a video, it's a lot like, you know, there's some videos we write out from beginning to end, and a lot of videos that we, you know, kind of do an outline, and it's like, well, we know what we're doing. Okay, now we can improvise off this. And you know, but no matter how way you approach it, when you do a video, you're doing something very shoot from the hip, see if it sticks. You know, okay, it's going to be a 2-minute video. Just film a bunch of crazy shit, and in editing, oh, that worked, that didn't. That worked, that didn't. With a movie, you don't have that luxury of immediacy. It's really like, oh, wow, we came up with this whole story. This rules. The next day you come in, it will be the worst thing you've ever read. Whoa. I just thought about that story. It fucking sucks. Yeah, okay, now how do we attack that? I think you could lose all this. Yeah, this rules. Then the next day it sucks. And it's more of a battle to, you know, rather than just spurting out the idea and then film
Build on
it
it.
and see what you can make from the scraps. It's really
Wanna
a
talk
day,
screenwriting?
it's a day-to-day battle.
Just briefly, because I want you guys to go into your personal experiences. I think this is like the best call we've had in like a really long time.
Yay, I'm so
because most
glad.
of the calls we get are like kind of like real quick things.
Yeah.
I like this because it goes into depth in sort of like your process and what's different in doing something small and sort of off the cuff versus something so produced. I think when you write and you write something short, you can like refine it by like adding a little joke here, adding a little joke there. If it's a comedy type thing or whatever, you kind of like refine like this little piece until you have something that works kind of on its own. The problem with a larger script is that you can have pieces that you really love, but you have to like live and die by this giant world that you create, and you have to be so ready to kill your own children every day. You have to go in and be like, I love this idea, and then go in the next day and look at how everything's sort of around it, and you keep fighting to like try to get like this one idea to work. You want this one idea to work, and it doesn't. And as much as you loved it, you can't quite get it to jive with the rest, and you have to be willing to get rid of that thing. There's a lot of compromise in like larger script writing. The worst part of all of it is that when you're done writing it, I don't know that you ever feel like, it's finished, like most art that you make or whatever. But the worst part is that the people who read it aren't even necessarily the people that you want reading it. They're just like low-level people to get rid of all the shit, to get the
filter.
Exactly. To get rid of like all of like the scripts that aren't really makeable or aren't really like
well written.
Into something that's like, oh, here are like the best 5 of like the 20 that I read. But who are they to be the arbiter of what should be moved up or down through like these ranks? So it's really difficult, and I think that's why you have stuff like the Blacklist, where you get scripts that are like, wow, this is incredible and all this stuff, but then even still, the scripts that get passed around on like the Blacklist were like The Beaver with Mel Gibson. And and like Jodie Foster, where
Well, you were a script reader, and I think that when you read 20, 50, or 100 scripts, you start to see very common mistakes, like, oh, this guy's doing what every first-time amateur does, and you're the arbiter because you're looking for the person who is not making those amateur mistakes.
I agree. It was the biggest thing for me when I would have to read scripts. You had to do like so much coverage on it afterwards.
Yeah.
So you'd read like the whole 120 pages or however many it was. And then if you could concisely write about what it was like, oh yeah, that made my job easy. But then I would have to like really stop and go like, yeah, but just because I wrote quickly what it was, does that make it something that I would pass up or down? The thing that I would see a lot is, from the way it's written, can you picture this not being like a movie, like up on the screen, but can you see this being something that's produced into a movie that would end up somewhere? It doesn't have to be like a big screen, huge budget thing, but produced anywhere, shot anywhere, and made.
Even sci-fi original.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere, for any kind of budget, could this be something that would be produced? Because that was my job. My job wasn't to read scripts and then go, I like this one because it's fun. My job was to go, hey, we're a production company. Here are these scripts. At our level, is this something that we could produce? And we'd produce, the company that I worked for had produced movies in the past that had done relatively well. And after I left, actually right as I was leaving, they won an Oscar for like best foreign language film that they had gotten involved in or something. But
you basically were there to filter out
all
and
of it.
See like, hey, don't waste your time looking at these.
So,
because we couldn't ever even make this.
So like it's hard when you live and die by like your script every day to just give it to a production company and go, or whoever, and go, here's my script, and then it's some dude. I don't know how another way to describe it. It's a dude who's sitting there and going like, well, let me see if this is something that strikes me personally.
Just think about how some people in the chat think about you.
Yeah.
And you're the guy reading their scripts.
It's just...
And deciding if they get to pass them up or pass them down.
It's that. But that's the thing. You don't just take it to one production company. You can shop the script around to 19 different places or whatever.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is when you're the type of person who has one script and you go, I wrote my script, now it's time to get it made.
100%.
And you're like, and then
Boondock
you are in a situation when it's like, who is this dude saying my movie is not good?
Mhm.
That person will always fail and will never get their movie made. I think it's more important to be the person who's like, I write scripts and I'm going to write scripts until one of them gets made into a movie.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
The next one's going to be better than the one
yeah,
before
like
it.
I wrote 7 scripts and they all sucked. Here's my 8th one. This one's pretty good.
Yep.
And you just keep throwing shit.
You
and
keep getting better.
You
'Cause
always
yeah, keep going back to it.
You always hear about people who, oh, they got their first script produced and all this stuff, but it's like there's so much writing and refining and everything done to like one script. You have to call it done, put it out there, and move on to something else. And if something happens with that other script, cool. But if not, hey, you're working on like this next project.
And Camille, let me take this whole conversation and bring it back to
Please.
your initial question.
Okay.
What Eric just said is kind of what makes
Stupid.
doing short
No,
videos.
Just kidding.
It's kind of what makes doing short videos so easy. Like we can have an idea and make it, and then it's out there, and we move on to the next idea.
Yep.
And we can improve what we learned upon, or scrap the things that didn't work. And a movie, you don't have that luxury. You can't just make it and have it be out there and learn from it. It is like, okay, I spent 2 years writing it.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna spend 3 months filming it.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna spend another year editing it.
Way bigger investment.
It would be better if you could just make movies as easy. If we could make movies as easily as we made skits, we'd probably all be like, we'd be 4 fucking Spielbergs right here.
Oh, damn.
But that's kind of the difference. The being able to easily produce it and move on is what is so great about doing short videos.
Yeah, if we put out a video tomorrow that was the biggest fucking turd in the universe, everyone would move on, and honestly, I could probably delete it the next week, and people might not even care, you know. But like, we put out a movie, it's a little harder. It's like,
There's pressure when you make your first movie. You really want it to be good, but all the great filmmakers, when you listen to them, like Scorsese and Spielberg, James Cameron, they'll all tell you like your first movie is going to suck. It's going to suck. So just get it out there and have it suck. And
Make them in college.
and just fucking move on and make all those shitty movies and get them out of the way so you start making good stuff.
But that's really why, though, I've always, man, it's taken until, think of how long we've been doing Mega64 from day one in 2003
Yeah.
until now.
It's all practice.
I only feel now like, okay, I'm ready to try to make something feature length.
Yeah.
I just
All
feel
that
like
practice gives you the
I feel like
confidence.
I had to make a billion short little things before I gained any sense of like, okay, I think I can navigate this.
This
now.
is how it would go
And
down.
that's what blows my mind is I know so many people who are into film that the out the gate, I'm going to make a 2-hour movie. And I just feel like how can you even think you're ready for that? How can you think that it's going to be something that people will sit through?
And there's
That
outliers.
You've never done anything. Here's a 2-hour thing. I just feel like you have to make a lot of short things to learn it all and be able to, I don't know. And even then you're not guaranteed anything. I mean,
True.
look, this is, man, I mean, I shouldn't say this publicly, but I really like the Angry Video Game Nerd guy. I really like that dude. I think he's a great dude. And he's made so many great short things, but even his movie was like, fucking frenetic, like what is going on?
But
yeah,
I don't
and like kudos to him that he did that, but I still, it's like even then it's like, are you ready to adapt to that format? That's hard. That's
See,
really
honestly, man, I don't know if I agree with you because what I'm saying is you need to make that first movie and it's going to suck. So his movie, I agree. I didn't think he made the greatest movie, but he made a movie. And now when he makes a second movie, if he ever does, I mean, it's going to be better than that first one.
You're going to learn from those mistakes.
He's already on that ladder and he's already climbing it. So, because I think what I was saying is that pressure to make your first movie good is the biggest hurdle. And that's what stops so many people from ever becoming filmmakers. He's got to make that shitty movie.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, kudos. Like he did that. Like he went all that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm just saying in general, even to get to that point takes it just takes I don't know, the confidence to even get to that point can be daunting. I didn't have it.
Yeah, Cosplayers is awful. Hopefully we'll still get to make it eventually.
You can see how awful it is.
Because I do think Cosplayers is that perfect. I'm not even going to sit here and say that. Wow, the script is amazing, guys. It could be a piece of shit. I think some of the people we gave it to thought that, but I think it's right in that place where if we made it the way that we make all our stuff.
It would get
hey,
some-
maybe
it would get some traction.
Maybe it would be a dumbass movie, but it'd be fun enough that okay, it was stupid, but it was the first thing they did, and it was fun. You know, I think it's that perfect script. It ain't trying to be Schindler's List. It's right here, and it's goofy enough that I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
And
So,
I think
who knows? I think we should.
we
try.
wrote it so many years ago. I think we could take another look at it, make it something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Hopefully. All right. Well, thanks for your call, Camille. Hope
Thanks,
that
you
answered your
guys. It
question.
was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, I can't find
Bye.
it.
No, let me just move it.
Oh, okay.
Let Eric just
you go.
move it.
Oh, it's right here. Sorry. Wait, I'm gonna hang up now. All right, goodbye. All right, that was a good call.
I thought that was an excellent call.
Again.
Excellent call.
Camille
That's not
knocking
something
it out
you
of the
can
park.
ask. I thought that was really, really good.